Hello and ready to welcome to Bet Helper. This is a betting preview for the Carling Cup games on Wednesday, the 22nd of September. It's only a few games of interest tonight. None of them are really that big hitters. It's just Scunthorpe Man United game on TV in England tonight. Still only about 300,000 match at that level on the betting exchanges, so that's kind of an indication how little that people are actually kind of taking this seriously. Basically, the game of the night probably is Chelsea Newcastle. It's got about 1 million and matched at the betting exchanges, and 90% of that is actually matched on Chelsea. So I'm just going to give you a flavour of what's going on. Nothing too big. Just kind of going over these so people can kind of grow accustomed to looking at price movements and stuff like that. I wouldn't advise anyone to have a bet on tonight because, again, this is recorded just an hour before kickoff, so it's a bit closer than usual. Hopefully try and get a more clearer picture. Team news is still kind of unavailable at the moment. Should be out in the next kind of 5-6 minutes or so, but it's not really of importance to tonight's kind of analysis. So anyway, have a look at the games. We're going to have a look at Villa Blackburn now at the moment. In Asia, the handicap was Aston Villa -0.5. It's kind of drifted. Was 1.94 and there's 1.98. Blackburn have obviously shortened there. They were at 1.98 and they're at 1.94, so they've kind of reversed roles. Might see that kind of drop down to -1/4 before kickoff, but probably not, since there's not too much money going on any of these games at the moment, and since that's not really again, it's going to be covered much tonight on TV or on radio, then I wouldn't expect too much money to be pouring in here in the last kind of 45 minutes to an hour. Have you looked at the unders and overs? There's been kind of a big drop on the over 2.5 goal market. It's gone from 1.99 down to 1.83. So maybe they're remembering last year's semi-final between the two teams. Over the two legs there was a lot of goals, so they're obviously kind of remembering back to that and adjusting their odds accordingly. And the fixed odds, there's not been too much movement, probably more towards the draw than anything else. Everything else has kind of stayed the same or drifted slightly, but again, there's not too much movement given that there's not too much money involved in these games compared to other games. Vegas kind of sums that up nicely, given that there's been no movement in the last 36 hours, so they're not really getting in too much money on this game, not really having too much movements over the course of all the Carling Cup games in truth. So have a look at the exchanges. The only movement here really has been a shortening the odds on Blackburn and a drifting on the odds on Villa. There has been a small little drift as well on the draw, so more money moving towards Blackburn, but of course Villa, being the home team, are still favourites for this one. I think this is Gerard Houlia's first game in charge, so we'll see if that has a bearing on things. Usually when there's a new manager, there usually is kind of up in form, given that there's a new manager to impress, etc, etc. So we'll see how that goes tonight for Villa. So have a look at the unders and overs. Again, there's been a pretty big drop in the odds there for the over 2.5 goal market. It's gone from 2s down to 1.87. So again, maybe there's remembering back to last year's Carling Cup tie between the two sides. There was a lot of goals in that one, so I think punters may be hoping for another goal fest in this one. So have a look at the bookmakers then. Bookmakers are flat on Villa. Draws actually kind of drifted slightly, while there's been a bit of money on Blackburn for this one. It's gone out for 4s down to 3.75. So again, you can see there that they're not expected to win this game, but it has come in a good bit. But as you can see, Villa are 1.9 at the moment, so again, they're obviously heavy favourites for this one, given home advantage and a slightly stronger squad. Have a look then at the unders and overs. Again, you've seen drops gone from 1.95 down to 1.8. Again, they're expecting goals in this one, so hopefully they will be right as well. All four markets are kind of expecting goals tonight, Vegas being the more kind of 50-50. There hasn't been too much movement on that one, and it's kind of nicely balanced at the moment between unders and overs. Have a look then at the handicap market. It's gone Aston Villa -0.5, stayed at that handicap level, but the odds have drifted at that. So have a look at the Chelsea Newcastle game. This is basically the game of the night really. It's the two better teams from the Premiership up against each other, so it should be a good clash. Newcastle have kind of been flip-flopping on form recently in the league. They lose at home to Blackpool and then beat Everton as they did at the weekend. So again, it's kind of hard to have any sort of form basis to be making a judgment on any of these games, especially since it's a Carling Cup game, which is the lesser of all trophies that teams are involved in. It depends how seriously the teams take it. We saw last night in the Spurs-Arsenal game, Spurs probably took it a little bit less seriously than Arsenal did. Arsenal usually put out a very young side, but it's a bit older than it usually would be, with a lot more experience anyway, certainly. So again, we'll see if Chelsea field a load of reserves and some youth, or if Newcastle might rest a lot of first teamers and just concentrate in the league, or they might actually try and start their first team and try and make a good run at this trophy. But again, we'll see what happens. So looking at Asia, the handicap has changed there. It's gone from Chelsea minus 1 3/4 into Chelsea minus 1.5. The odds have even drifted at Chelsea minus 1.5, so we might see it actually drop down to Chelsea minus 1.25. Obviously, then Newcastle have shortened to the extent where it had to invoke a handicap change, and it's even shortened still since it changed to that new handicap level. The unders and overs, there has been a handicap change in that one as well. It's gone from over 3.25 in Asia, it's gone down to 3s at the moment. Odds have been kind of shortening since it's moved to 3, but not majorly. It'll probably stay at 3s before kick-off. But yeah, they are expecting goals there, since it's much higher than the 2.5 goal market that we're used to seeing. So the fixed odds there, Chelsea have drifted. They've gone from 1.23 to 1.38. So again, heavy favourites, but there has been a bit of a movement away from them. Obviously then Newcastle have shortened. They've gone from 11.5, which basically is a no-hoper, down to 8.8, which is pretty much the same thing, but obviously it has shortened considerably. The draw has gone from 5.7 down to 4.7. So again, not really expecting anything but a Chelsea win in this one, but there has been significant movements there in Asia, so something to look out for. Have a look at Vegas then. The unders and overs, they're expecting overs. It's flat at 1.4. There's been slight drift in Chelsea from 1.22 to 1.25. So again, they're heavily expecting Chelsea victory. Newcastle's shortened slightly down to 9s from 10.5, and the draw stayed flat at 5. So again, really not expecting anything but a Chelsea win in Vegas. So we'll have to see if they're right as well. Looking at the exchanges, again, there's been a slight drift on Chelsea. It's gone from 1.31 out to 1.39. Again, heavy favourites, but they are drifting. They are losing a bit of support. But as I said earlier, the amount matched on Chelsea is 91%. So again, everyone that's betting at the exchanges is betting in favour of Chelsea. Obviously, then the draw and odds on Newcastle have shortened, but again, they're not really considered a viable option really. But again, people will see high-priced odds on a draw or an away victory and just have a little punch just to make the game interesting, or try and lock in some profit, especially in the exchanges. If it stays a draw, or if Newcastle snatch a victory, people will look to lay those off as soon as possible for a nice little profit. So having looked then on the unders and overs, the unders have gone from 1.5 to 1.6. So again, they are expecting goals, but it has drifted slightly. But again, they are expecting the overs. I've looked at the bookies. Again, kind of similar patterns. Chelsea slight drift, draw shortened slightly, and obviously a fairly sizable shortening on Newcastle, but it's gone from 12 down to 8. So again, they're kind of outsiders, but there has been a significant drop in their odds. The unders and overs, the over 2.5 goal market drifted slightly, but it's at 1.5. So again, it's clear to see there that they are expecting goals. At the bookmakers, similar to Asia, there's been a drop in the handicap. It's gone from minus 1.25 to Chelsea down to minus 1.5 in Chelsea. So expect to see that the same at kick-off time. So then the final all-Premiership clash, it's West Brom versus Manchester City. The handicap here in Asia was Chelsea minus 3/4. Now it's down to Chelsea minus 1/2. So So there's movement towards West Brom. This one, now they've got a half goal head start, so we'll see if that holds. Could see a good bit of money pouring in there for Man City, given that there has been that handicap change and people would expect City to win, so half their money would be going on City -1. So if they won by 2 goals, you're winning the handicap. If they only win by 1, you're only winning half your bet. But I think people will probably expect Man City to win this, given that even if they both put out reserve squads, it's clear there's only one team that would look half decent. So having looked then at the unders and overs, slight drift. It's gone from 1.88 out to 1.89. They are expecting overs there, so let's hope they're right. Looking at the fixed odds in Asia, there's been a shortening on West Brom, gone down to 3.9 from 4.5, so that's pretty significant. Obviously a drift then on City, gone from 1.8 up to 1.93. So again, they are still favourites, but it is tightening the gap between them. There's been a drift on the draw. Would have expected more money to be going on the draw if people are kind of siding more towards West Brom, but again, we'll have to see. Then have a look at Vegas. The overs, they're expecting overs there. It stayed flat at 1.75. Again, there's been a similar kind of pattern move. Shortening on West Brom, drifting on Man City, and drifting on the draw. Have a look then at the exchanges. Again, similar enough pattern, but the draw is actually shortened at the exchanges, much to what I would expect to have happened. West Brom have shortened, City have drifted, but the draw there at the exchanges has shortened. The overs has shortened as well, it's down to 1.92, so they are expecting goals there. The under is probably around 2 mark at the moment. Then have a look at the bookmakers. The bookmakers have West Brom flat at 4.33, the draw flat at 3.6. Slight drift on Man City to 1.83 from 1.8. Slight shortening on the overs, it's down to 1.8 from 1.85. The handicap here hasn't changed. Asia was minus 0.75 in City. Here it was City minus a half. It stayed at that. There has been a shortening at that, so I would expect Asia to see similar. So I would expect an onpouring of money there on City at the minus half goal market. So that's kind of the wrap up for today's games. The Manchester United versus Scunthorpe game is on television, as I said, on Sky tonight in the UK and Ireland. Not really interested in looking at a game between teams from different leagues. Again, it's impossible to say anyway who's going to be starting. I think Bebe is going to be starting for United tonight, so I'll enjoy watching his debut. Not supposed to be as good as some people have said, but I guess we'll get to see tonight. So have a look at bethelper.e/blog. I'll have the BetHelper Pro video 2 up later. Thanks for all the feedback from all the other videos, the comments left on the blog, the emails, etc. So keep those coming. Enjoy making these videos and enjoy helping people out. Any questions, leave them under the YouTube video or on the blog, or send me an email at bethelper.e@gmail.com. So thanks for listening, and good luck if you're having a bet tonight.